Hello viewers, tutorial 14 question 2. The graph of y equals 3.2 sine of 4x plus 0.24 is drawn below and you see it on screen. Find the coordinates of points A, B, C and D. So A is your y-intercept, which means that since it's the y-intercept, x is 0. So if x is 0, we can calculate what y is by substituting x equals 0 into 3.2 sine of 4x plus 0.24. The 4x is going to be 0 if x is 0, so that becomes 3.2 times the sine of 0.24, and we get an answer of 0.761. So therefore point A, x is 0 and y is 0.761. So we have the coordinates of point A. Now for the remaining points it's going to be y that we find first, because it's only the y-intercept that we get x first. So for points B, C and D we'll get the y coordinate first and then calculate x, which means we will need the rearrangement of the equation. We'll need to solve it for x. Okay, so we've got y equals 3.2 times sine, so we've got, if we divide by 3.2, we get y over 3.2 equals sine of, so we can get rid of that sine by taking the sine inverse of both sides, equals 4x plus 0.24. So 4x is going to be sine inverse of y over 3.2, subtract 0.24 to get 4x, and then we need to divide that by 4 to get x. Okay, so point B, what feature of the graph is that? That is the maximum, which means we can work out what the y coordinate of that graph is. So normal sine, just sine of anything, goes between -1 up to 1. So if we have 3.2 times sine something, it goes from -3.2 down to up to positive 3.2. So the bottom here would be at -3.2 and the top is at 3.2. So y equals, for the maximum, positive 3.2. So we have, if we substitute 3.2 into our rearrangement, what do we end up with? We get x equals sine inverse of y is 3.2 over 3.2 minus 0.24. That's divided by 4 and we get 0.333. So therefore B has coordinates of x is 0.333 and y is 3.2. Point C is the x-intercept, which tells us that y equals 0. Again, we can substitute that into our rearrangement, so we get x equals sine inverse of y is 0 over 3.2 minus 0.24. That's divided by 4, and that gives us an answer of negative 0.06. Negative means we're on the left of the y-axis, so we've just calculated this point. We need to get from here to here. We are talking about the vertical middle of this function, so we're talking about halfway between minimum and maximum, halfway between -3.2 and 3.2. So that means we can add half a period. So what is the period? Period is 2 pi over b, so 2 pi over b is 4, and that gives us pi over 2. So we add half a period. So we get negative 0.06 plus half of pi over 2, and if we calculate that we get 0.725. So your coordinates of C is x was 0.725 and y is 0. For point D, it's the minimum, and we've already ascertained that y equals negative 3.2. If we substitute that into our rearrangement, we get x equals sine inverse of negative 3.2 over 3.2 minus 0.24 divided by 4, and calculating that gives us negative 0.453. Okay, so we've got the value of one of the minima. We've actually got a negative value, which means we've got this minimum on the far left of the graph. We want to get from minimum to the next minimum, which is not half a period, it's a full period, a full cycle. So we need to add the period. So we get negative 0.453 plus the period is pi over 2, and that gives us an answer of 1.118. So D has coordinates of that was 1.118 and negative 3.2. So that was B, this was C. Okay, thanks for watching. Over and out.